Hello friends, it's Marie here again from Nicole Designs. I am taking part in a blog hop with Spellbinders. So there's lots of other people into this blog hop. I'll have a description link down below so that you can head over to the blog and follow everyone's inspiration for the Spellbinders subscription kits for March. So these are all the club kits for Spellbinders. I'm playing with the small die kit and the Glimmer kit for today's video. Now I'm also taking one of the newer dies from Spellbinders. These are their nested rectangle essentials dies. I love this largest die because it cuts out a panel that you can put onto your A2 size card front, and it's just slightly smaller than the card front itself, so it's the perfect size for layering your panels on your card bases. I've cut that out, and I'm also using the smaller rectangles. I'm going to cut out 3 windows here. Now, the way I got my windows lined up and centered is I started with the middle window first, and you could go ahead and use your ruler and mark out the exact center of your card panel, but I just kind of eyeballed it because I knew I was going to be layering lots of different things on top of these windows, so I thought if it's slightly off center, you're really not going to notice. So I just went ahead, I eyeballed the middle of my card panel, taped this smallest rectangle down, and then die cut it out. Now, after I've got the middle piece cut out, I can just kind of line up my other rectangles next to it just by eyeballing it and taping it down and making sure it's straight and even with the middle one. So I went ahead, die cut those 3 window panels out, and now I have this card front that I can work with. I wanted to make 3 windows and just layer it up with all these little die cut pieces. So I have this piece of craft cardstock that I want to layer my card front on top of. So I have that behind here so I can kind of get a visual of what I want it to look like. And I'm using all of these little die cut branch pieces from the small die club kit, and I'm layering them behind my window just to kind of see what they look like. Now I also have some of these eggs. Now these are from the Glimmer kit for March. They've got all these beautiful glimmered eggs, and they've also got egg dies, and I used those dies to cut out these eggs and be able to layer them on my card front. Now I have a video on where I made these eggs before. I used them on a previous card, and I do have a video on that. But basically what I did is I used some of the Nouveau crackle mousse and allowed it to dry, and then I die cut these eggs. So they have sort of a textured crackly finish, which I think is really fun. And one thing I love to do when I'm working with these kits is just die cut a ton of pieces, glimmer a ton of pieces, and save them so that I can easily grab all of these pieces and make another card. And that's what I did for this card today. I used a lot of those leftover die pieces either from my greenery and my eggs, and just loaded it up on this card. So you can get a lot of use out of these dies. You can make a lot of different cards, and I'm hoping the blog hop today will give you some inspiration for these kits. So I'm just gluing my little branch pieces on here. You can glue them from the back of your card panel, or like I'm doing is I'm adding a little glue to the branches and then tucking them in behind the window. And I just preferred to glue them looking from the front so I could see what it looks like when I'm finished. Now that I have all of my little branch pieces on here, I'm going to go ahead and layer my eggs behind my window. I love how the eggs are just kind of peeking out from behind the window, kind of like they're hidden Easter eggs. And I think it adds a little bit more texture, a little bit more color to my card as well. So it's really fun to just kind of hide these eggs behind these branches. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue behind there and just tucking these eggs in where I think they're going to look good and where they're going to fit. So I love that there are different sizes of these eggs in the Glimmer kit. There's a few different size dies. I've got some larger ones and some smaller ones so that you can layer them together and kind of give some variation in your height and your focal points. So once I've got all of those die cut pieces layered on here, I'm just going to go ahead and load up the back of my card panel with foam adhesive. I wanted this to pop off my card front a little bit to give some more dimension, so I'm loading some adhesive on all of the frame pieces, even the little frame pieces here between the windows. I just want to give a lot of support. I did not layer any foam adhesive behind the branches. That would be really tedious work to cut out all of those tiny pieces. So I just mainly focused on layering foam adhesive behind the frame, and I really love how this card turned out once I add it to my card front. So you can see here, I'm just going to go ahead and adhere my card front down to my card base. And I love how this panel just kind of pops up. You've got all of that dimension there behind the windows. And yet it's still a really kind of clean and simple style because you have a lot of that white space going on. It really brings your attention right to those windows and all of that colorful greenery. So now I'm going to layer on some flowers here. Now these are flowers cut with the small die kit, and I've cut them out of blue and pink cardstocks. I'm just adding a little drop of glue where I want these flowers to go, picking it up with my embellishment wand, and then just sticking them down. And I find this is really fun to just go ahead and embellish the front of your card, add lots of little flowers peeking out here, so it really looks like a spring scene, and I think it's really fun. Now you could also cut these out of gold cardstock. I think that would look fantastic. You could do pattern paper and cut flowers out of that so that you get some pattern flowers. I really love the look at just the solid cardstock and all of the bright colors working together. So then I wanted to put my little bunny on the front here, and this is a bunny from the small die kit. I've added some black cardstock behind his eyes and some pink cardstock behind his nose, so he's got some of that color peeking out. And I'm adding him with some foam adhesive as well. And then I just did go and glue on his little bunny tail afterwards. And then I'm going to use some clear sequins and just tuck them here and there behind my greenery and around my flowers, and that adds a little bit of subtle shine and shimmer, a little bit more embellishment going on. I've been finding I really love these clear sequins that you can add to any project for a little bit of shine without being too overwhelming. I've got some really tiny ones, and I've got some bigger ones that I'm going to be just layering behind some of my eggs and my frame. And that pretty much finishes my card. I didn't do it on camera, but I did add a sentiment from the Glimmer kit. So I glimmered a sentiment that said "Hello Spring," and I added this to the card as well. And I really love how this one turned out. It's kind of like a whole scene through these windows, and I love just layering all the die cut pieces on my cards. So I hope this gives you some inspiration with the Spellbinders club kits. Make sure you follow the link in the description below to go to my blog, and then follow all the links to all of the other people who are hopping along today. And thanks for stopping by. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, do all the things. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.